episode. Y'all about to find out. And one thing I love about Chicago Fire, it takes place in Chicago. So what y'all getting is that essence. Even I had to, the weather. I had to learn, Southern California weather to Chicago weather is a whole, it's changed. I felt this thing called cold. Yes, real cold out there. So yes, we're excited about the premiere of Chicago Fire for y'all to check it out.
And Ransford, can you tell us about your character, Lieutenant LeClerc? Is he a serious, hard-hitting, old-line detective? Is he a more 21st century sort of people's man? Is he a sort of, dare I say, does he like to intermingle? Is he very talkative, jovial type of guy? Or is he a real hardliner? What type of guy is Lieutenant LeClerc?
See, I love this. And there's a side of me, I have a sneaky side, James. I have a sneaky side. I feel like it's a surprise party. And I like that there's this anxiety of like, yo, tell us, give us a scoop. And I'm like, oh no, you about to find, okay, you can't miss me. I do have a presence, definitely have a presence on that show. And if I tell y'all, it's giving away the surprise party. So yeah, it's like, yeah, you'll find out how I come correct, how I deal with the other I should say firemen. You see how we roll, and I got my squads back. That's all I gotta say.
And Ransford, is throughout your acting career, have you played law enforcement roles in the past? Is it something you're sort of familiar? When this opportunity came about, did you say when your agent brought it to you, did you say to me, yeah, that's me, in terms of I saw what I like as law enforcement roles? Have you a history of playing those parts?
Yes, I do. I did 9 seasons, and it's funny. It's anything that's involved with law enforcement. I did 9 seasons with The Closer and Major Crimes. I played C.I. Kendall, so I was under the role. I played the role of a coroner's investigator, and then when I was on Body of Proof, I played a detective. So anything that's law enforcement, I'm involved in. What's so beautiful? It's about also you learn. It's about you're telling a story, but you're also telling the story of folks who work in law enforcement. Because I remember Major Crimes and The Closer worked with the LAPD, and did something called Twice Citizens Award, and you got to see folks who were retired from law enforcement, how they still found a way to give back and how they impacted and helped the community in a positive way. So I love that it's not just I'm playing a role, but I'm helping tell folks' story, especially in law enforcement. And then especially when there's law enforcement, there's firemen, but then I did the coroner side. So that's another side where everybody was like, yo, the story of the coroner. And here's the thing I like to tell folks. When you're playing law enforcement, there are people who really love to do this. When you're playing a fireman, there's someone out there who eats, sleeps, and drinks being a fireman. Now, coming out in Hollywood, everybody's like, you do a job, but it's more like, oh, if I'm a waiter, this is just my part-time job. This ain't my real job. I really want to be an actor on TV, or I really want to be a producer, or I really want to be a director. The fireman's not looking at you going, I really want to be a director. They're like, no, this is my job. I eat, sleep, and drink this. I save lives. Same thing with the coroner. They loved solving crimes, love solving mysteries. And it's like, yo, to have people who are passionate about what they do, I look at those folks who are in law enforcement, they keep the world going. They're the ones who really taking the time to do this to really save lives. So I just love that I'm able to help tell their story when they, don't have a voice to.
And Ransford, did this opportunity come about for you fairly quickly, or how did this opportunity roll? Was it a sort of a quick turnaround in terms of landing the gig and making yourself available and going to Chicago?
Well, here's what's funny. I love that you said that. The SAG strike just ended. So that's another thing where, we were on strike. I didn't know if, when the strike was going to end. So when it ended, got a call from my manager. Hey, the auditions are going to be coming, Ransford. Get ready. So when I saw Chicago Fire, I was like, yo, let's do this. Because it was like, let's get the muscles squared away. And then when I auditioned, and shout out to my fiance, she helped me out with this role and helped me run my lines to make sure everything was squared away. And it was like, yo, let's do this. But I have this attitude of you do it, you put it out there and see what happens. And they loved my work and they gave a brother a shot. So I got to go to Chicago. but I had to learn. It's cold in Chicago, okay? It's cold, 30 degrees. It's cold. In fact, that was a little warm. It got down to 19 degrees. So I got to feel the cold. So they're not playing when they filming, you feel the essence. So that's another thing where it's like that helps you definitely tell the story. So it was good.
And Ransford, what's it like coming on as a guest star in a series that has the regulars that might have played, like in some cases, over 200 episodes in a particular sort of show? We've seen so many guest stars throughout the seasons come in and pass through the doors. Did you find it even a very welcoming, very friendly set? Or I suppose some of those stars have, it's second nature to them. They've shot so many episodes with so many guest stars coming in and coming out. Did you feel sort of a welcoming straight from the beginning in terms of your time on arrival?
Yes, yes, I felt the welcome in the beginning. Everybody treats you like you're part of the family. And everybody, another thing, everybody's there to be a professional. But you also see the relationships, the ensemble, how they click with each other. So that's nothing. Well, they were very welcoming. So that I appreciated, and just man, that comfort level of like, yo, you part of the family. We trust you, and that's another thing I learned from when I did 79 episodes with the closer of Major Crimes. There's this time that we as actors, especially as his guest stars, we're always going, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. But you have to realize you earned it. They didn't just give you this role. There were other people competing for this role. So they have this idea like it's good, but we know you can do the work. You earned it. So now show up and do the work. And when you're around other professionals who make you feel comfortable, oh man, it's a blast. So that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, and I suppose with something like Chicago Fire, when you play a role, and maybe in your case a lieutenant, there's always an opportunity for somewhere down the line, somewhere down the seasons, for a callback, a reoccurrence in terms of that, because you're not really the bad guy, you're not the perpetrator, as sort of as such in terms of this. So there's no case of being killed off or anything like that. So there's probably a case of maybe a future recurrence somewhere down the line as well. That maybe Leclerc might have legs, dare I say, in Chicago Fire going forward.
Once again, I'm not gonna say nothing because see this how it gets said. You know what? Don't say stuff and you're trying to get yes on me, but it's like you're just gonna have to watch the show. That's all I gotta say. But to all the actors who go out there and you're hired for a role, just go in there and be a professional. Because I remember when I did again with the closer, it was I thought it was just gonna be 2 episodes, and then 3, then 4, then before you know it, you're like, yo, I did 20 episodes. And then the spinoff came and I was like, yo, congratulations. I wish you well. They're like, yo, you part of the family. So I just have this mindset of you don't know where the story's going, and I ain't gonna give away the story. So just go in there and you tell your story. They're the ones who creating the world for you. So that's why I don't want to, give nothing away on you know, how the story's gonna go. Y'all about to find out.
And Ransford, before we came on air, you mentioned a book that you have published in terms of which you feel is dedicated to your craft and might help other maybe people listening in today who might want to get into the showbiz entertainment world.
Yes. My book is called Dear Starving Artists, Get Something to Eat. Because yes, we are in this journey to be creative folk, but you got to find a way to give back. And my book is a way to redefine success. It's not anti-celebrity. It's more like, I don't want you just to be a star on the stage and screen. It's about focusing on being a star in life and my journey on figuring out how to become that star in life. Because I always ask actors, do you want to have a great life or a great career? And when you put it that way, you go, there's some folks who focus on that career, but they're not too happy. They don't have that great life. So there's folks who are like, no, I want that great life. And that helps you tell that story. So you can bring that to the auditions. You can bring that to the shows. Because I'm also a high school teacher. I teach 9th grade for Virtual Academy Arts and Entertainment. Shout out to them. And my students see me teaching and also being an actor. And they're like, yo, you can do both. It's like, yes, be out there. You got to shine. Tell your story. But you all have a dream inside of you. Your job is to make that dream become reality. So please, folks, get the book, Dear Starving Artist, get something to eat, because we all gotta get fed.
And on that final note, now I'm going to turn it over to you, Ransford Doherty, and you might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should tune in to season 12 of Chicago Fire, debuting tonight, April the 5th, on Channel Sky Witness here in Ireland and the UK. And Ransford, what's in store for them when they turn on their TV screens?
It's the one Chicago world, one Chicago. NBC don't play. One Chicago, you start to see Chicago PD, you see Chicago Fire, you see Chicago Med. It's the Chicago world. I'm telling you, and that's another thing. When I went out there, LA, I love LA. We get tons of different studios. The way Chicago represents, y'all got to tune in to see the world that has been created. I'm telling you, the Dick Wolf world is awesome. So please check out Chicago Fire. We represent, we come in, and oh, y'all about to find out. Y'all about to find out. It's number one for a reason. All right. So check it out.